A heavily pregnant woman from Ebonyi State, along with her husband and 2 children, has been allegedly detained unlawfully by Nig Govt Vigilante Group in Anambra State since May 30, 2025. A formal petition was submitted to the Anambra State Police Commissioner requesting their release and questioning the legality of civilian-run detention centers. A critic accuses Nigerian military forces and the Nig Govt Group of running illegal detention centers and oppressing innocent Biafrans without trial or formal charges, alleging that such impunity is backed by government complicity. He also alleges that after clashes between the Biafran Liberation Army and Nigerian forces, the Nigerian military began stealing containers of palm oil from local businesses in Biafra territories, furthering the suffering of the already struggling local population. Eyewitness testimony was included from a masked individual who recounted how Nigerian forces vandalized a palm oil processing facility and looted the goods, adding that while Biafran fighters are defending their land, the Nigerian army is looting, killing, and intimidating civilians. A disturbing narrative is shared where a man allegedly confessed to killing over 150 people to avenge the death of a single cow, highlighting the perceived prioritization of livestock over human lives in certain parts of Nigeria. The critic insists that Nigerian citizens, especially men, should prioritize self-defense, as the government, military, and justice system are portrayed as uninterested in protecting ordinary people, particularly Biafrans. There is a strong advocacy for self-reliance and arming for personal protection, inspired by what the critic describes as the failure of Nigerian institutions and repeated attacks against Biafrans without legal consequences. A man named Benjamin from Delta State, who runs a graphics design and printing business in Benin City, shares an emotional story of how his home, built after years of saving, was demolished by soldiers without prior warning, robbing him of his life's work and investment. Benjamin pleads desperately for help from civil society, Nigerians in the diaspora, the Nigerian police force and the military, expressing heartbreak over his office being looted, his workers being affected, and his only assets being destroyed despite not committing any offense. He concludes with a heartfelt call for awareness, urging for the support of Biafrans facing injustice and prepare for collective self-defense until Biafra gains freedom and independence, as the Nigerian system is portrayed as irreparably broken and hostile to their existence. It was a hot and still afternoon on the 30th day of May in the year 2025, a date that carries immense meaning for many sons and daughters of Biafra. For most, it was a day of solemn remembrance, a day to reflect on the lives lost during the Civil War and the years of silent oppression that followed. But for one family from Ebonyi State, a heavily pregnant woman, her husband, and their 2 young children, it became the day their freedom was suddenly and cruelly snatched away. They had traveled to Anambra State hoping for peace, possibly even a chance at a better life, only to be detained by a group known as the Nig Govt Vigilante. This was not a regular arrest. There was no court warrant, no police procedure, no clear accusations, just a knock at the door and the terrifying voice of armed men demanding they follow without resistance. Since that day, they have remained in what has now been identified as a civilian-run detention center, something that should not even exist under Nigerian law. Their disappearance did not go unnoticed. A formal petition was submitted to the Commissioner of Police in Anambra State. The petition questioned the legality of civilian vigilante groups running detention centers and demanded the immediate release of the innocent family. But as of the time of this report, the family remains detained, their voices silenced behind concrete walls that never should have held them in the first place. The story of this family is not isolated. It is just one among hundreds, perhaps thousands, of quiet tragedies unfolding across Biafran territories. What makes this particularly painful is the silence that surrounds these stories. Outside of close communities and a few passionate advocates, there is hardly any mention in the national news. To speak about the Biafran experience is, for many, to risk being labeled a criminal, a separatist, or a threat to national security. But what kind of security criminalizes motherhood? What kind of unity justifies detaining children without trial? One critic, who has been closely monitoring the activities of the Nigerian military and the Nig Govt vigilante group, did not mince words. According to him, these groups have operated with unchecked power, frequently detaining innocent people, especially those who are suspected of harboring sympathies for the Biafran cause. The critic claimed that there are numerous illegal detention centers scattered across southeastern Nigeria. These are places where people are kept without trial, without charges, and often without food or medical care. These are places where silence is enforced by fear and where dignity is traded for survival. One critic, who has been closely monitoring the activities of the Nigerian military and the Nig Govt vigilante group, did not mince words. According to him, these groups have operated with unchecked power, frequently detaining innocent people, especially those who are suspected of harboring sympathies for the Biafran cause. The critic claimed that there are numerous illegal detention centers scattered across southeastern Nigeria. These are places where people are kept without trial, without charges, and often without food or medical care. These are places where silence is enforced by fear and where dignity is traded for survival. In his words, we are watching a system crumble on top of innocent people. It is not just about politics anymore. It is about survival. It is about justice. And right now, we are seeing none of it. The situation escalated following a series of clashes between the Biafran Liberation Army and the Nigerian military. In the wake of these conflicts, the critic alleged that Nigerian soldiers began looting. Containers of palm oil, an essential economic product in the region, were reportedly seized from local businesses. For communities already grappling with economic hardship, this act of looting was more than just theft. It was an attack on their ability to survive. One eyewitness stepped forward to confirm the looting. He did not show his face. His identity remains hidden out of fear for his safety. But his voice told a chilling tale. According to him, Nigerian military forces stormed a palm oil processing facility late one night. They vandalized the property, destroyed machinery, and carted away finished products. There was no warning, no accountability. What remained was shattered glass, scattered containers, and the broken hearts of local business owners who watched their livelihoods disappear. The same eyewitness drew a clear distinction between the actions of the Biafran fighters and those of the Nigerian forces. The Biafran Liberation Army is defending land, not looting it, he said. They protect their communities. It is the Nigerian soldiers that intimidate, loot, and kill civilians. Whether one agrees with every tactic used by the Biafran Liberation Army or not, this narrative is one that resonates with many in the southeast who feel abandoned by the country they are supposed to call home. In one of the most disturbing revelations of the report, a man allegedly confessed to killing over 150 people just to avenge the death of a cow. The claim was met with disbelief by many, but the implication was clear. In certain parts of Nigeria, animals seem to be valued more than human lives. This story, though shocking, is a reflection of the deep-seated tension between communities, especially in regions where Fulani herders and local farmers have had repeated and often violent clashes. Such stories force us to ask uncomfortable questions. What is the worth of a Biafran life in the eyes of the Nigerian state? How many more lives must be destroyed before the world starts to pay attention? The same critic who revealed these stories also emphasized the need for self-defense. He stated that Biafrans could no longer rely on the government, the military, or even the judicial system for protection. In his view, these institutions have failed, and worse still, have become instruments of oppression. He called on Biafran men, especially, to arm themselves, not for aggression, but for survival. It was a cry born of frustration, of years of watching unpunished violence, of parents burying children, of towns reduced to ashes, of justice delayed and denied. He was not alone in this belief. Another man named Benjamin from Delta State shared his personal heartbreak. Benjamin is a graphic designer and printer who has spent most of his life building a small business in Benin City. He had worked hard, saved diligently, and eventually built his own home, a modest but proud achievement. But one morning, his life changed forever. Without any warning, Nigerian soldiers arrived and demolished his house. He was not charged with any crime. He was not given time to gather his belongings. The building was reduced to rubble before his eyes. Benjamin could barely speak as he described the aftermath. His office, the place where he had trained young apprentices and served clients for over a decade, was looted. His workers were left stranded. His printing machines, costly and essential, were taken or destroyed. Everything he had worked for was gone. And for what? He still does not know. With tears in his eyes, Benjamin begged for help, not just for himself, but for everyone facing the same injustice. He appealed to civil society, to Nigerians in the diaspora, to the police, and even to the military to look into the situation and bring justice. His story is not just about property loss. It is about the psychological trauma of watching your entire life's work vanish in moments, with no explanation and no accountability. In the face of these mounting atrocities, there is still a flicker of hope that burns deep in the hearts of Biafrans. They may be bleeding, but they are not broken. For every story of loss, there is a story of resilience. For every home destroyed, there is a neighbor offering shelter. For every voice silenced, there is another rising louder and clearer. The path to freedom is not an easy one. It is filled with thorns, legal obstacles, international silence, political sabotage, and military intimidation. But even so, the struggle continues. It is carried forward in whispered prayers, in secret meetings, in community support networks, and in the unwavering belief that Biafra deserves to be free. Hope lives in the pregnant mother still held behind illegal bars. It lives in the children who still manage to smile even as bombs fall not far from their homes. It lives in men like Benjamin, who even in the face of devastation refuse to give up on justice. This is not just a Biafran story. This is a human story. It is a story of people demanding dignity, fairness, and the right to exist without fear. It is a call to the world to open its eyes, to listen, to act. And even as the wounds deepen, the hearts of Biafrans remain strong. They are fighting not just for land, but for history, for identity, for the simple yet powerful right to live in peace. Biafra bleeds, but hope lives, and as more stories emerge from the shadows of fear, a clearer image begins to form. This image is painted not only with suffering, but also with resistance, courage, and love for a future that is yet to be born. Every Biafran mother weeps not just for her own children, but for the children of her neighbors, the ones taken at checkpoints, the ones struck down by stray bullets, the ones silenced by starvation, and those orphaned by arbitrary killings. The pregnancy of the woman from Ebonyi State symbolizes not just human life growing in the womb, but the hope of a people growing under pressure, pressing against walls built to crush them. Inside the illegal detention center where this woman and her family are allegedly held, it is said that conditions are inhumane. Unventilated rooms hold families with no space to stretch, sleep, or even pray in comfort. The food given, if any, is barely enough for survival. Medical attention is non-existent. The children cry at night, frightened by voices of guards echoing through the concrete corridors, uncertain of why they are there, unable to grasp the cruelty that has befallen them. How can a country claim unity, yet tolerate this suffering? How can a government parade itself as democratic, yet allow armed civilians to detain mothers and children? Where is the voice of compassion? Where is the rule of law? The critic who exposed these injustices has remained firm in his stance, despite threats and personal risks. His words carry the sharpness of a blade and the warmth of a torchlight in darkness. He says that in many parts of southeastern Nigeria, the rule of law has been replaced with the rule of fear. Men vanish in the middle of the night. Women are interrogated for having photos of loved ones in Biafran colors. Even teenagers are profiled for merely posting opinions online. If one speaks the word Biafra too loudly, even in mourning, it is enough to attract attention from security operatives. This silence is no accident. It is cultivated by the government's refusal to address historical grievances. For more than 50 years since the civil war ended, Biafrans have been treated as a problem that must be managed, not as citizens with legitimate rights and dreams. Instead of healing, the wounds of that war have been buried under decades of marginalization. Many in the southeast still wonder why their roads remain broken, their schools underfunded, and their voices ignored. The narrative from official channels often avoids the deeper conversation. It focuses on maintaining national security and sovereign unity, even when that unity is enforced by tanks and threats. But those living within Biafran communities know what security truly means. It is the ability to live without fear, to walk freely without harassment, to raise children without nightmares of abduction or bullets. The incident of palm oil looting is more than economic sabotage. It is symbolic. Palm oil is a lifeline for many families in Biafra. It is the fruit of the land, harvested with sweat and patience. To watch soldiers destroy processing facilities and load trucks with containers of stolen oil is to witness an act of intentional disempowerment. It sends a message that no matter how hard Biafrans work, their progress can be wiped away in an instant by the very government sworn to protect them. And yet, in the words of the masked eyewitness who described this looting, the spirit of the people remains defiant. He said, "They can take the oil, they can take our goods, but they can never take the will of our people to rise again." His voice trembled not out of fear, but out of a quiet rage, the kind that grows roots in oppressed hearts. Then there is the story of the man who allegedly murdered more than 150 people in revenge for a cow. Whether or not the exact number is verified, the very fact that such a narrative has taken hold reflects a deeper truth. That in many regions of Nigeria, the worth of human life has become negotiable. In some parts of the country, herders are protected with military escorts, while indigenous farmers are blamed for defending their ancestral land. It is not the individual tragedy that stands out, it is the pattern of injustice it represents. The critic in his speech challenged the conscience of the nation. If a cow receives justice and a child's death is forgotten, then the soul of that nation is lost. At the heart of all these stories is fear, not just the fear of dying, but the fear of being forgotten. Benjamin from Delta State knows this fear intimately. When the soldiers came to destroy his home, they did not offer any reason. There was no eviction letter, no judicial order. It was simply power unleashed without accountability. Benjamin built that home over many years, sacrificing comfort, delaying dreams, and working endless hours. It was not just brick and mortar. It was memory. It was love. It was the future he imagined for his family. Now Benjamin sleeps on a friend's couch. His machines are gone. His staff members have scattered, some relocating, others returning to their villages, all disillusioned. But Benjamin continues to speak. In his tearful video shared online, he called out to Nigerians everywhere, saying, "If they can do this to me today, they can do it to you tomorrow. Let us not wait until injustice reaches our doorsteps before we take it seriously." His appeal struck a chord with many. Diaspora Biafrans began to organize small donation campaigns. Human rights groups started to circulate his story. But still, no word from those responsible, no apology, no restitution, no justice. What makes these stories more painful is the lack of response from the very institutions designed to serve justice. Complaints are filed, petitions are submitted, and yet nothing moves. It is as though the voices of Biafrans disappear into a void. Court cases are delayed indefinitely. Police reports gather dust. The military denies involvement, and the government redirects the blame. This institutional silence has birthed a new generation of young Biafrans who no longer believe in Nigerian democracy. Many of them were born after the war, educated in Nigerian schools, and told that the past was behind them. But the present tells a different story. They witness their fathers arrested for speaking at town halls. They see their mothers assaulted at checkpoints. They scroll through social media and see photos of their classmates killed during protests. And they ask, what future does Nigeria truly offer them? In response to this silence, a grassroots movement has begun to rise. Not necessarily one of open warfare, but of civic resistance, economic cooperation, cultural pride, and strategic advocacy.
Then how on their own returning however na this environment na this oil mill na we because I'm man them mother we because I'm man them mother because you are man them mother them because send them man now the point how this one now like 10 people not have phone, their friends not have phone or email. Look at Habrunya or the Kanya Habruya 10 of this Natia Namotanka. Amazima woman or Woshi. Hope of them or Woshi did mad happiness with their friends. Look at it. Has it a wonder Habaranana, as you can see it. This is happening live at ipob or email. This is happening live, and this is one of the victims, one of the people. Halutru. So I want you to hear from him, but because of security conscious, I will not show his face properly, but you will hear his voice. Mr. Agahafa. Okay, today is the 18th. About 10 butas. Oh yeah, mano. Kandiami batara. Destroy buka eba park or shop at parking here. Buka manile. 10 butas are burundi abralala. Include manding on a pair. About 15 pair because my Arab parking here. It wasn't already about some nabuta. About 10 buta dole. Ndane paki atila amot kaha bula buka sha workshop amona na oyi kada isu buka sha everything mayeri magere doere buka manjiri water pump a pump mmiri ha buka mo bayoko bayeri roko mamma magere woli ke horo everything magere ma including ego some akpọrọ ndị mmadụ edore ebe ahụ ha bụ ọkọjọ ihe niile n'ego ma agara ma mara ahụ m anya
ị na-akọwada na ha na ndị amị ndị otu asarị dọkụbọ ha okiso faya ha katapila ha ọwụ ha niile bịara Scorpion Colonel ha ọwụ ha nwa bịara bịa zuo osi ha. So today is 18th of June 2025.
Yes.
But the court case Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu are facing the Nigerian terrorist government in their own law court, defeating them. In the same way, Mazi Semanekpa is defeating Nigerian government in Finland. And to the same today, within the 18th, that the Nigerian terrorist government came into this shop. And still this oil producing factory that Biafrans Nigeria and Wahaka can have loot. International community, the Finland, I am bringing to the notice of Finland to look into what is happening. How hopes of them Tinubu government, Musa military terrorists are vandalizing and stealing and killing Biafrans on daily basis. But thank God for the men on ground. The men on ground are defeating them and they are not stealing. The Nigerian government are stealing, looting. As you can see, it's a live witness and they cannot deny it.
For my people who don't understand Hausa, allow me to translate this, what this Fulani guy is saying.
Why don't an kashe mutane 200 a Benue State shi zai tada hankalin mutane a dunga haya a social media to kadan kuka gani.
He says so because they've killed 200 people in Benue State, that's why everybody is getting angry. That's why people getting angry now that this one is really small.
Ba ku rubuta kun ce za a kori Fulani a kasan Benue kuna dariya. Dama daga dariya sai kuka, za ku ci ubanku a wannan shekara. Za ku ci ubanku.
Say Nebuna talk say me Fulani live on our land. When they write time, when even they laugh, say from laughter to tears now. Say una go chop una nyash.
Mutum 100 shine me, shine tarzoma a zuciya. Mu shanu na aka kashe muna. Mutanen mu na aka kashe a daji da ruga duk ba ai komai ba. Ai kashe mutane 100 wallahi ba laifi ba wani abu kuma. Kadan ne.
Say waiting be 100 people, say waiting be 100 people, say because they kill 100 people, now they make una mind the vex. Say what of their people where they don't kill for bush? How many of their cattle where they don't kill? Say this one is small thing now, say no worry. You get.
Kunga wannan a matsayin shi shanu na billahi lazi zan iya kashe kada guda 150 akan wannan. Ni yanzu.
Now he's saying you see this cow, now see this cow where they here, this young calf. Saying swear to God, saying if he kill like 150 people for this cow.
Na dena ai man laifi in ce sai na tsaya hukuma ko wani abu na yafe. Bazan taba yafewa kuma ana yi man zan rama, ana yi man kuma a matsayina babulatin daji.
Saying no send, you no go sit down they wait for anybody. If they're killing cow, in go revenge.
Ni yanzu na dena boye-boyen nan in ce ai bazan kashe mutum ko ba zan yi kaza ba, duka aikin laifi zan iya aikata shi akan wannan. Kisa ne ba kisa da zai gagare ni akan wannan insha.
Say no go they pretend again. The reason say no go tell you now the truth. Say him if he kill 150 people for this one and nothing. Say if not do him go revenge because na so it did for them normally. So no more pretense from him. This is who he is. Alright, so now don't hear, but you've listened. So what's he saying? He's saying that it doesn't matter where you are from. He can kill for his cattle. And that cattle's life is more important than human life. Just understand something. This is not a place where you want to reason, sit them down, explain to them how human lives is better than cattle. This is how it is for them. And so my advice for you is this. As a Nigerian, whether you call yourself Nigerian or not, you need to protect yourself, most especially all the men in this country. You need to be able to protect your families. May nobody catch you by surprise. You cannot go down shouting Jesus, my God, or begging for your life. You have to be ready. There's no law that prevents you from protecting yourself. Do you understand? In this life, as person no bring you come this life, you suppose go out on your own terms. Nobody is supposed to come and just take your life from you like that. You understand? All the people, normally, we think we are in a normal society, but the law is not on our side. The law is not on the side of the masses. The law is put to protect politicians and protect people who have money and in power. These guys are being protected, they are influenced, they are armed. They are provided with arms and weapons. You are not provided with anything. Find your way. You are a sovereign being. You have right over this earth like any other person. They too have right over this earth like any other person. But there must be an understanding. If person dey reason like this, you suppose understand. And I'm sending this message to all the politicians in our state. Most of you that have cattle, you hear what they are saying. That human life is less than the cattle. You keep keeping those cattle in our state. It's a reminder to the people of Benue that you have something, an animal that is above them. And it's unacceptable. It is advisable that you guys sell all those cattle. Make we know say cattle no dey, cow no dey inside Benue state. We must start using that collective action. If not, you are an enemy to your brethren. You are an enemy to your kin. Because person they talk say cattle they are above human life, and you are rearing cattle in the same state where people have come to kill because they are saying that you, our kinsmen, killed their cattle, and so life must be lost. And somebody is saying that for a calf, 150 human lives with potentials to change the surface of this earth, would you understand, will be killed and murdered, and nothing will happen. It doesn't care. They don't care. So you need to understand the enemy and understand how they think. Do not think that Jesus is going to save you. Do not think that the church will save you. Do not think that the government will save you. You have rights of existence. You are a sovereign being walking the surface of this earth, and nobody should take your life without your consent.
Tell us your name and
my name is Benjamin. I'm a citizen of Nigeria from Delta State, but I do business here for Benin. I thought they do business, which is a graphics design and printing. Now they do. Now small money why they save over the years. Now I take the rate this structure. What happened? I bought land from Enoge, named now Agawa, from this community Ogede. But 3 years ago, now I buy the property from him. That's this land, empty land. Because the dimension of this place now 100 by 100. I see gather money again. Now I buy another 100 by 100 from the other side. Everything cut total to 200 by 100. Sorry, 100 by 100. Now first buy. That's this portion. Then the other back side, I still buy it from him. When we buy the place from the man, I paid him money. He gave me papers. That's he called do those deed of transfer. I did everything. I even can't do this registry. Where they go register land. So I do those things then. So I call they build this place small. We all know how they say they build house from Nigeria. Not be once they build them. Money come, I start foundation. Why I start foundation? The community people come with me say, I'll pay community fee. Say, why I will listen? I pay. Then later when God sit down for me, I can't reach little level. I do pass that stage. Why I reach roofing level? They still come again. They say I'll pay for roofing. I can't pay. Even though they will put this aluminium roof safe, they still come say I'll pay for the people who come. I still pay them. All those payments, I pay those money. They not tell me say this place get issue or land get issue. I don't build that finish. Just at the office, last week here, they robbed my office. They made away with 11 laptops. Those who know me for Benin, my business in a graphic sport. Those who follow me for TikTok, na graphic sport 7. For my Facebook, na graphic sport. They know say my printer they do over the years. Since 2007, I get CAC registered in this country. I said I finish school now, I start this job. I want to do this graphic design before I start school. No work now to start this thing. Now don't come. They coming from office, say man. They don't form my house because my uncle they stay the first flat for that place there. This one and my own part where we say I go stay. I just build them like we have to retire while we might no benefit of work I don't cover the years. Just to come here, I run reach here now. They say the armies they don't come out. My uncle come tell me say they use and sit down for ground while they come they break the place. So enough quick call me. Now when they don't come out, now they can't call me. I run reach, I don't see anybody. I run to the Nogisa. Baba, I will see what they happen to my house. So the Nogi say when we reach there, they say don't go palace. I wait over nothing. Different call they call me. Advice from people cause okay. Make me go palace, go complain. Me can't come out. So people cause they say, man, I post this thing. As I they post them because they go viral. But now people constantly tell me, say, okay, man, go meet the Nogi again, and say, what will be the problem of the land? I still meet am now. Nothing where this man don't tell me where they tangible. If I reach the palace, to God and man, God where they see me so. The man, I know they feel they talk now late years. As I feel they talk to this camera now, I feel they talk confidently. But if I see the nogi, I don't feel they talk. Whether I do something me, I don't know. I don't even talk now. Okay, see what I don't labor for over the years. Nothing to show. I just suffer, waste my youthful age for this country. Oba of Benin, Oba Atokpe, NUJ, every place I beg. Muna help me. Muna just help me. I beg. I don't know what I do. I don't know what I do. Now I beg. I just State Governor Kpeolo. You dey try for this state. Since you enter, different things they happen. As you enter, I watch the flyover. What you do? Please say at least flyover don't come to those states. At least for so many things where they do. I beg. Just hear my cry. This one not be politics. I beg. Mona help me. I beg. I don't go para, but they don't feel allow me enter because I don't get shit won't carry me go. No, I beg. Mona help me. Nigerians, those in diaspora, I beg. Civil society, I beg to now beg. Mona help me. Now beg I did. Now beg I did. Anyone na fit help me. Now what I don't labor for be this one. I beg. I dey beg on now. Oba of Benin, Nigeria Police Force, Nigeria Army. I dey beg on anyone na fit assist me. I don't mind. I don't born. I get wife. I get pikin. What I want live for them for? How many years them man go stay? I don't use all my years since I finish school. No work. I told the people at me for school. No job. Now I remember I say, oh, Bobby, I let work. Oh, now to start printing. They do graphics design. Nothing what I show for them. The only this thing I get. What I call it for? All my schoolmates, the way they travel, I say, shall they tell you that I say, come on for Nigeria. You see Nigeria good. See what I live for. Those where they are, bro, anywhere on they wanna help me. Civil society, I dey beg. Wanna hear my cry. Now beg I dey. Wanna help me. Anyone want to help me, I beg. I don't know what I do. At least there is some more person. If they call me, I'm not going to invest my money. Call they put for what I don't say get problem. Nobody like trouble. I don't like trouble. I beg. Anyone want to help me, now beg me just say. If I don't even know which I want to talk again. Where I want to start from? Wanna just help me, I beg. Anyone fit help me, now beg me I dey. All the video where they post, I beg. If my wife ask me question, coming for anywhere, I will come. Now beg I dey. I beg. Wanna help me. Oba of Benin, Oba Atokpe, the Commissioner of Police, Nigeria Army Force, any of the forces, all the press, please, wanna help me. To the head note, I beg, a very dark man. Everybody, I beg, wanna help me. I be citizen of this country. I been Delta, now Delta I come from, Isoko North. Wanna hear me out. Now beg I dey. If you look at now, what I want live for? My pikin, I dey on that stress. They robbed my office last week Thursday. Just Tuesday, now they demolish my house. When I'm the same person they run this to me, I don't know. And I want the officer help me, wanna help me. Now beg I dey. I don't say I do they no get or for day. If you tell me say this place get issue, I don't go buy. I don't like trouble. I will not put my body. If nobody will tell say, I buy 5 po for this street, 5 po. And they work there and night. People know me, so they ask me say, which work I do at a lost laptop. I'm a graphics designer. I'm a printing press. I get more than 15 workers where they work for me. I just say, okay, master, they help youth. Some of my boys say they work for me, so they will bring training money. I say, look, I say, let's help Nigerians. And so I beg. People know me well. If you see target some people will say, they're no better now. There's so nice school. Abraka. I beg. I'm a Nigerian. I beg, wanna help me. Commissioner of Police, Oba of Benin, Civil Society of Nigeria, please. I beg, any other help me. Now beg I dey. I not get anybody who I call to. I never get papa. My papa na army, he died. Before years, my papa, there were only 2 of my mama born. 2 of us. Me and my younger brother. Mona, just help me.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.